When I was in seventh grade, my teacher, Mrs. Glass, put together this exercise for us after we read the book Animal Farm, and it was a great lesson in leadership. Probably the best lesson I've ever learned in public education about leadership. It was about a 10-minute exercise. She walked around with a little basket like this, and she had little pieces of paper she'd cut up, and she asked each one of us to draw a piece of paper out and not look at it until everyone had drawn a piece of paper. When we looked at it, each one of us had a number on the piece of paper. Some had number 1, some had number 2, some had 3, and others had a piece of paper with a number 4 on it. And then she said, okay, everybody who drew a piece of paper with a number 1, you're the leadership team. And then she said, so you have the floor, you can do whatever you want to do. So I drew a number 1. I really wasn't sure what to do about it because I knew she was still in charge, so I kind of kept my eyes on her. And then the other people who drew a number 1 came up to a table like the one behind me, but they organized 6 desks, and they formed a platform like a stage. And they got up on the tables apparently because now that you had a leadership position, falling off a chair and breaking your neck, was something you were exempt from experiencing. So they stood up on the desks, and they gave a speech for about 5 minutes. And then Mrs. Glass looked at them and said, "Okay, that's enough. You can get off the desks now and give me the pieces of paper back. I'm going to use this exercise in a later class." So so then she said, "Did you notice what happened to all of us to kind of reflect on the experience now that it was officially over?" She said, "Did you notice how the people who drew a number 1, even though they were already a leadership team, decided they had to be above everybody else?" And I looked down on the rest of the group, and I thought, yeah, I did kind of notice it. I thought that was strange as she said it. But then she said something else, which I didn't notice because I was too busy watching her throughout the exercise to see what was going to happen next. She said, "Did you notice the people who drew a number 4? They were the lowest group." And she said they actually cast somebody out of their group to form a group number 5 that wasn't even an official group, but they just wanted to be above somebody else too. So they just threw somebody out of their group within 5 minutes just to be above somebody else. And I thought, wow, it's amazing how many times I've seen that over and over with people and all the work I've been doing, even beginning in my career, people wanting to kind of hold other people down or just feel like they're entitled because they were given something or because they just happened to be in the right place at the right time, as opposed to performance, which is that other confusing interaction people often have with performance versus loyalty. Nobody deserves anything. They earn it. But it also reminded me how important it is to know your numbers, and understand that people don't deserve anything. And when people are trying to push you down, just wait for that exercise to end. And maybe someday you'll be group number 1 and you'll deserve it and earn it.